1 days before the cat hits us. That's if we start counting from today. We have 111 days. Now you might be someone who just started preparing for the cat, or you could be someone who's been preparing for the cat but currently became really serious, or it could even be the case that you are really preparing for the cat, but when you look at your mock score, you're actually going, am I preparing? Whatever situation that we are in, let's create a cat study plan. That's what I'm going to do in this particular video. Now, you might have this question in your mind, is it even possible? We have just about 100 days, 111 days. Is it even possible to do this? Obviously, we can answer this question as no, and then stop this story, and then we can all go to bed. But what is the point even answering the question as a no? Let's answer the question as yes. It is possible. If it is possible, then what are the things that we got to do? That's what it is. So if you say yes to this particular question, you have to now decide that whether your switch is on or off. I mean, that's how you have to look at it. Either it has to be a 1 or a 0 story. You are preparing for the cat, but I know that you are not really preparing for the cat. You are, I don't know whether I should say this. You're probably fooling yourself, telling yourself that you're preparing. When in reality, you're not really preparing for the examination. Let's stop it completely, right? I mean, either the switch is on or the switch is off. If you have said yes to that question, that I'm going to prepare for the cat, now let's go all out and prepare for the cat. So you decide today whether it is off, whether it is on. Today is the day. You decide. It's either way, it's fine. So if you say no to the cat, it's still okay. It's not like MBA is the only path to have a successful career. There are a lot of different ways to have a great career. Yeah. If you say yes to the plan, let's keep the switch on. Now, but we have an issue. We have 111 days. We don't have enough time. Let's assume that if you have got other commitment, you may be a college going student, or you're a working professional, and in colleges you have got other commitments, you've got exams, you've got this, you've got that. In work, you know how work is, you're almost tired coming back home. Maybe you've got Saturday off, maybe you've got Sunday off, maybe some of you have got only 1 day off, maybe you're thinking of taking a break from work. But at this point in time, you're looking at probably pushing yourself, putting about 3 hours per day. Maybe you have about 300 hours with you to prepare for this exam. There could be some of you you're probably preparing full time. You decided to give up everything and sit at home and prepare the examination. You probably can put in about 6 hours per day and 8 hours. A lot of people say that I'll put in 9 hours, but 9 hours consistently for 111 days, I doubt it. Some of you can do it. I personally don't know how to do that, but I'm sure there's no harm in doing it. Maybe let's say that on a realistic basis, you have a good 600 hours. Some of you have this, some of you have 600 hours. Some of you may be even thinking that, okay, let's probably quit my job. Obviously, if you're going to college, you can't do anything about it. You have to be in college. But if you're working, you have a choice. But I will still recommend, why take all those unnecessary risks in life? So let's work with about 300 hours. Is it possible to prepare for the cat in 300 hours? If I can do it in about 300 hours, we can do it in about 600 hours. What if we only have 300 hours? That's a constraint that we have. So we have got 3 ways of looking at the whole preparation. Number 1, I will do everything of everything. Now this is like saying that, okay, let me list down all that is needed to do well in the 3 section VARC, QA and DILR. Let's look at component number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so on and so forth, 10, 12 things that I got to do, and I will try and cover almost everything. I'll do everything of everything. That's an idea, but unfortunately this is unrealistic. This may not be possible. We cannot do everything of everything. We can't do that preparation. So then we get into option number 2. Oh, let's do something of everything. Let's do a little bit of stuff. Now this again, a huge amount of a problem. You know why this is a problem? Doing something of everything. You probably would decide that one of the areas that I need to do well in, if I want to do well in VRC, I have to understand the passage. For me to understand the passage, I need to understand words. I struggle with my vocabulary. So one of the things that I have to do in this plan of action is to figure out something about vocab. Now, how do I do the vocab and try to do everything about vocab? Okay, so if I have to do everything about vocabulary, maybe I'll have to study about 600 words, 6,000 words, maybe I don't know, 6,000 words, 10,000 words. You'll probably pick up a word list or whatever, about 6,000 words you want to prep, and then each word will probably take about a minute to get in your head. I'm not saying the first time. You probably will have to revise that every single word after a certain period of time. You're spending about 1 minute. That's about what, 6,000 minutes. 6,000 minutes is how many hours? 6,000 minutes is 100 hours. Divided by 60, right? 100 hours on one activity if you want to do everything of it. Do we have the time? 1/3 of the time I'm preparing for it. So the body will say, okay, I cannot do everything of everything. I cannot do this. So what I'm going to do about vocabulary, I'll do something of it. Maybe 100 words. Maybe this. What is the point? I think the approach that you should have, and I believe that the approach that you should have is this one. This right here. The approach number 3. Very difficult, but the most effective is to say that I will do everything of some things and nothing of other things. Let me repeat. I will do everything of some things and nothing of other things. This is what we're going to bet on. We have to do some sort of a gamble. That's what we're going to do in this 111 days. Some sort of gamble. Figuring out what are the some things that I have to do. And I will do everything of those some certain things. And I will ignore the other things. It is probably not worth it for me to spend time in vocabulary, because doing something on vocabulary is not really going to help me. But I have to do everything of certain things. I need to get a particular score in VARC, particular score in QA, particular score in DILR. There is everything about some few things I got to do. This is what we're going to focus on. For us to understand this, let's understand what's the score. Now, this is the percentile rank in the first column. I've taken till about 99.9 till about 70 percentile rank, and this is individual sections. One thing that you need to understand is this, that you cannot be adding these values. If you add these 3 things, it will get more than 76. So this is not the sum of these 3 percentiles. Individually, overall score has been ranked. Individually, the QA is ranked. Individually, the DLR is ranked. Individually, the VRC is ranked. Right. This is based on last year. Last year, of course, the QA story was a little tough. That is why if the 35 seems to be the lowest across each of these percentile rank range. But it could change, right? And you might be at this point in time. This is let's take this as a template. There could be obviously slight variation to the CAT that is happening in 2024. It could be a slightly easier QA, who knows? Could be slightly difficult VRC, who knows? I don't know. But at this point in time, let's go with this, because most of the mocks that you are taking would probably likely be mapped against this particular percentile ranking, or mapped against at least this kind of the last year's test. Most of the mocks that you would be taking would be like this. So let's go with this as an idea. Now you would tell yourself that the first thing I got to do is that I need to get a minimum sectional percentile in each of this area. So some college has got a 70 percentile as a sectional cutoff. I think IMA has got a 70 percentile. Some college has got 80. IIM Lucknow has 85. Now, depending upon your category, you have various different percentile, minimum percentile that is required. This is for the IIMs. Of course, there are other MBA schools or B schools which does not have any sectional percentile. But let's go with this. So that's a minimum that I want to hit. Now, where do I want to be? Each of this percentile rank is going to get me to a certain kind of colleges. And you might have a target. That's your target, not my target. Your target would be your target. Your aspirations are your aspirations. I have no say in those. You would probably say that, okay, I'm looking at colleges. I'm happy with these kind of colleges. These kind of colleges, I'll be able to get in about 97 percentile. The colleges that I want, I need to get as close as 99.8, 99.9 percentile. The college that I want is need to have at least a 99 percentile. Whatever the target that you want to put in, let's assume that you want to get here. You want to hit the 99.9 percentile. To arrive at that particular journey, you could do this. I mean, you can be a rock star in VRC, you can be a rock star in QA, but in DLR, just managed it. I mean, 90 percentile in DLR section with 99.9 percentile in other 2 section will get you that add up to 101. Or maybe this could be another one. I am decently okay in VRC. I'm good in my QA. I'm solid in my DLR. There are multiple paths with 101. Now, for example, you want to hit a 99 percentile. That's about 75, 76 marks in total. If you want to hit that particular score, this could be one path. That you're in your 30s in your VRC, just managing more than 15 in DLR, and very close to 30s in your QA. This could be another path. You're very good in VRC, but you're just about, you can manage about DLR and QA. That can get to 76. There are multiple paths. Now you have to figure out what is your game plan, at least broadly, roughly. Before we even start the preparation, maybe today, I need to have some idea in terms of what is that broadly I'm targeting, at least in terms of scores. If I can work towards that kind of an idea, that kind of a plan, I know what are the some things that I got to do to get that particular score. So what is the first thing? Fix your broad game plan. How can you do this? It's pretty easy. Take a test. I mean, what you got to do is take a test under your test condition. This could be a mock test, it could be a last year's CAT paper, anything, take a test. Maybe you can decide in, let's say, in about a month's time, let's say in about 10 days time, you probably take about a couple of mocks, do this activity and figure out a broad game plan. If you've already been preparing for the CAT for a while, so you've been taking mock tests, do you have a broad game plan, a roughly broad game plan? So what you got to do is take the test under whatever the condition, which is 2 hours, 40 minutes, 40 minutes, 40 minutes for the 3 section. But that is not your actual story. You retake the test with no time limit. This is very, very important. And you will get a new score. Let me call that the score, the OCAT score or your potential score. Let's say that's your test score. Then you analyze your performance in terms of what are the gaps, okay, how much you can meet. For example, you've got, let's say you have got VARC, you've got DILR, you've got your QA, and this is you've got your test score, you've got your OCAT score, which is after retaking the test. OCAT score would mean that if I have all the time with you, with no pressure whatsoever, this is where I can go. And then you have got your target scores. You can then figure out. I mean, in some cases, this gap would be really huge between the test score and OCAT score, especially in VRC. It's going to be very drastic because VRC as a section is all about the decision that you make on the test, because every knowledge is based on what is given on the paper. You're not carrying an external knowledge. This is more or less going to be very, very similar, but there will still be some sort of a gap. There is very likely there will be a gap between your potential score and the target score that you want to reach. DLR is all about the decision that you're making, the test that you're taking, the sets that you decided to solve, whatever it is. And then at the end of the day, what you can do is that, okay, this is what I can bet on. I'll roughly bet on a plan. I'm just betting on it. I'm using the word bet because yes, it's possible that we are obviously making a plan based on the CAT that we have seen so far. But for some strange reason, if the CAT changes its character completely, probably maybe our plan may not work. But then the good news is nobody's plan is working. If CAT has changed drastically, that change did not happen only for me. The change happened for everybody. So there is no problem either way. So this is what I have to do first. Figure out a plan. Here, where is that you want to hit it? You would probably say that I want to hit about 85. Let's say roughly. You took a test, right? So let's assume that this is your test score. This is what is scored in your test. Let's assume this is your story in your test, right? This is your story. So 23, this is, let's say, the test score. This is what happened in your test. 23 plus 33 is how much? 30. This, let's add these two together. 13, that's what? 30, 53. You are somewhere here. So you are at this point in time in your test score. Let's say you are here, but you realize that I want to jump from here. Okay, based on analysis, you did your OCAT analysis, which means now you did your OCAT score. OCAT score would mean you redid the test. You suddenly realize, oh my goodness, this is I can actually get something like 40. Here I probably is going about 16 at this point in time. Here I'm looking at about 20. Okay, if I add my score, now this is about 60 plus 16, that's about 76. I'm here at 99 percentile. All right, I can work with this particular plan. All right, my target is to move a little more. So in way in which I'm saying that, okay, I don't know how much I'll be able to push this one, but I want to maintain somewhere here. I'm likely going to be somewhere in the 30s to 40 in terms of my eventual target. Maybe I want to push it somewhere here. Maybe I want to hit this about what I'm doing about 5 sets. That's about it. 5 threes are 15. So this is about a couple of sets. Maybe I want to push it here. Can I at least get to a little more? So solving about 8 net questions, correct? If I have to do 8 net questions, what are the areas that I have to look at? In QA, if you have to get to 8 questions, which means I cannot completely rely on maybe arithmetic and algebra alone. I probably will have to hit other area, which is geometry. Whatever it is, engage with sort of this idea and figure out what is and list down. You have to have a list down your plan. I think at the bet on a plan, I want to see the plan. In your room, you put the plan. Create a board. Write the plan. This is what I need to achieve. And keep reminding yourself every single day, that's my plan. And keep adding to the plan. Okay, I got to do this. I got to do this. Make it a game. This is what you have to do. Now, having done this, we have to figure out individually what is that we have to do in each of the section. Let's start with VRC. VRC is, you have to understand something about VRC. The VRC is where you're going to have a huge amount of fluctuation in score. The maximum amount of heartbreak is going to happen in VRC. Your frustration is going to be high in VRC, because you know what? What happens in the VRC journey, what happens at home when you take a single test. When you take, let's say you're solving one RC, you feel so happy, and then when you suddenly take the mock test, when you have to do the mock test, you're actually going, what is going on here? This transformation will happen every single day. VRC, but it's also an area where you can actually prepare. So what is that we have in VRC? The VRC has got what? 4 RC passages, 4 question leaves, that's a total of 16 questions. Then you have got a couple of questions on para summary. Then you have got a couple of questions in para jumble. Then you have got a couple of questions on odd sentence that you have to figure out in a para. And a couple of questions on sentence fitment in a para, or sentence placement in a para, or paragraph completion. Everything is about based on comprehension. Every single thing is about comprehension. This is about comprehending a paragraph. That's about evaluating a paragraph. That's about evaluating a particular passage. The answer to every single question is there. The reading comprehension is practically an open book exam. You have to gain knowledge in those 4 minutes based on what you read on the screen, in that particular passage. It could also be a case where you are betting against the question setter. The question setter is setting your traps. The traps is in the options. A lot of different traps are being set. So here, what are the 2 skills that we need to build? Simple one. We need to have ability to comprehend stuff. Given the time, I should be able to comprehend. And second, I need to understand how to evaluate option evaluation, at least for reading comprehension. That's what you got to do. When it comes to VA, the paragraph summary is very, very similar to comprehension. So that would be similar to, let's say, reading comprehension itself. So you can actually count this to be sort of 18, though paragraph summary has got a different kind of challenge. But that's about 18 questions. You've got paragraph jumble, odd sentence in a particular paragraph. All these, we need to have a strong process. In fact, I would go one step ahead and say that every single element, you need to have a process. A fixed process. Okay, this I'm going to deal with paragraph jumble question. I have to figure this process out. This is my process. These are the things I'm going to look at. I want to identify these clues. But what are the clues? I'm looking at for broadly these clues. Clues from pronouns, clues from signals. I'm looking at odd sentence question. Okay, I probably will have to create this particular strategy in dealing with that. I'm going to probably pick up sentences in a group and keep them aside, and then evaluate the 2 sentences and figure out which one remains odd. In sentence fitment question, I may have a strategy which says I'm going to read the sentence that is given to me and understand, but take out as many clues as possible from that sentence, and then try and see where it can fit. I want to eliminate the option. Whatever it is, we need to have a process. And that's what you have to do. These are the skills. It's absolutely skill. It's not about knowledge. We have to complement. Yes, that's an issue with respect to vocabulary, but we can't be studying words. So maybe you decide that, okay, one of the activities that you will say that, okay, fine, I'll probably will have to have, my comprehension should be as diverse as possible. And maybe I'll have to figure out some activity, which means that I probably will have to read as diversely as possible, read on topics that I don't understand. But I just have 300 hours for my preparation. How can we read on top of this? But I'm just saying, read. That you can just, that's a habit. I mean, that we can do. I mean, let's, for example, you're reading articles, that you can do. But probably when you're sitting in your loo activities, you can read it. Oh, who's stopping you? While having a food, you can read it. While traveling, you can read. Instead of watching the shorts or YouTube short, you can read. You can read anytime. All we need is, for example, what is 1 hour? 1 hour is what? 6-10 minutes the chunk of 6-10 minutes in 1 hour, how many 10 minutes do we waste? I mean, we can read. I'm not even counting in the 300 hours, but there has to be something that I have to do in terms of understanding the options, understanding these ones. I need to build these skills. Okay, let's go to DLR. DLR is an area which might be, it gives you trouble. It also we tend to have a very love-hate relationship with respect to DLR. It's actually fun solving DLR. Once you get the answer, that excitement that you get in solving a DLR, said, oh, nothing can beat it, or nothing. I mean, in VARC, the problem is you will solve, but you just don't know whether you solve is correct. At least in DLR, you crack it. You say, this is absolutely fun. There is a mystery that we are uncovering those mystery, picking up the clues. It's an amazing journey, but it also is a very frustrating one. That's what the DLR is. That is probably what your relationship with DLR is. Another problem is that at least in reading comprehension or something, we did something in school. In mathematics, we were taught in school. DLR, nobody taught us anything. The only DLR that probably would have done is based on some logical games that maybe, but during a childhood, I used to play Sudoku or some sort of a logical game. But one of the things that you understand in any of these games is all of these games, any logical games, is not so much about intelligence. It's more in terms of process. You ask anyone who played Sudoku, they will tell there is a method to this madness. They crack the process. Most of the logical game is based on a certain set of process. The way in which a lot of mysteries are solved are also based on process. Okay, you identify this clue. Okay, this means this. So there has to be a set number of processes. DILR is all about identifying processes on all the different type of sets that is possible. Now you could probably look at a lot of the sets which are analytical in nature. Arrangement, grouping, those kind of stuff. There has to be a process. There could be a lot many things which has got graphical representation. How to interpret the graph, it can be based on process. There could be a lot many things which is actually mathematical in nature. A disguised mathematical problem that is given to you, but it also may have a process. Then you would have the stuff which has got some sort of games and tournaments, some sort of constraints that you want to work with. That also has a certain sort of process. You may have some games on networks and routes, the tools and your optimization problems. That also has a process. You might in mathematics you might have questions around set theory. That's also based on a particular process. It's about understanding the different kind of steps that one has to deal with it. And even after that, the set that you're going to get in the particular CAD may look very new, but at least the inherent process should be great. So is it possible in those 111 days that we have to build and understand strong processes in dealing with DLR? Okay, so what we have is we have got 4 sets with 5 questions each. That's what we have. 4 sets with 5 questions each. These sets could be from anywhere. It could even mean that some of the set may even look new. But it's at the end of the day, what you got to do is build a lot of process. So if I were to look at this 111 days that we have, maybe you'll have to spend initial bit of days if you're not comfortable with any of this DLR. We are kind of preparing today to understanding how we have to solve different kind of basic problem sets. The initial set of days, you probably, let's say about 25 odd days divided by 4. I think we have to do that, right? And then plunge into looking at the different type of sets and figuring out the process of solving it. That's what we have to do. When it comes to QA, I mean, QA is at least has got structure. QA is also about knowledge, and you should have concepts in place. Otherwise, it's very, very unlikely that you're going to solve QA. If you look at QA, roughly this is a story, and this is the distribution of QA over the last, let's say, 5-6 years. CAT has broadly stuck to this. Now, if you bet on this particular plan and say that, okay, look, if I want to hit anywhere here, so you probably, let's take a sort of simple idea, a realistic idea, is that if I hit on a topic that I'm reasonably comfortable with, reasonable comfort level, and these number of questions that I have could be easy, medium or difficult. So some of these questions could be easy, some of the questions inherently easy and medium. It's very, very likely that on a good day, I probably will be able to do about 3 to 4 questions out of this. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay, This is about 3 to 4 questions. If let's say some of the questions are very, very difficult, maybe in geometry, maybe about a couple of questions. If I am seriously good at it, numbers maybe about a 1 question, modern maths about 1 question. Let's say that this is where I am going to be. This what I'm saying is, if I'm done little bit of effort in a particular area, let's say arithmetic, and if I'm given about 7 questions, it's likely that I'll probably do about 3 to 4 questions with a lot of confidence. There might still be questions I'll not be able to solve. Now 3 to 4 questions alone, it's about 9 to 12 marks. If you're relying only on arithmetic in your preparation, this is where likely you're going to end up in. Now you add these 2 areas put together. Okay, I'm going to focus my effort in terms of arithmetic and algebra and geometry, numbers, and modern maths. Modern maths permutation combination, I'm probably not going to touch. It's very, very likely that this is going to be 9 plus 9 is about 18, 20 marks. In arithmetic algebra, if then it's about 18, 20. That's very likely going to be. If you do this, and doing this means I know how to handle every single type of algebra question. There may be a lot of concepts. I'm given about 7 questions and I should be able to do this or this. If I want to hit anywhere beyond it and you want to get high score, then I need others. So that's a call that you have to take. It's a tough call to take. It's a difficult call to take. But you're also having a strong bet. You're essentially assuming this is how the structure of the examination is going to be. And you see that most of the mocks that you've taken would be very, very similar to this particular structure, because all the cats in the recent cats have in this particular structure in the distribution of the question around these areas. So you could bet on this, you could. But along with this, I will also recommend something absolutely important. That recommendation is this, is about jugaad. Now I'm using the word jugaad. I'm not using the word shortcuts. Okay, I'm not using the word shortcuts. You know what shortcut is? The reason why I have a problem with I have a problem with the word shortcuts. No, what shortcut is? Mathematics is shortcut. No. I mean, addition is a shortcut of counting, multiplication is a shortcut of addition, Pythagoras theorem is a shortcut. Shortcut has to be given by someone else. The shortcut for something exists outside of me. Jugaad is from within. Jugaad is this is knowledge that I have. Can I use it? So in fact, when you actually look at problem solving, when you think about problem solving is technically jugaad. You got a certain stuff that is given to you. You have to find a certain answer, right? You have to solve something. You are in this taking this path from here to here. This path of whatever information that you have to eventually solve the question. This path, one is use a formula. That is one problem solving method. There could be others. Eliminate options, understand patterns, substitute values, take a guess, intelligent guess. So this ability to jugaad may help you transcend and get you at least solve some more questions out. This power of jugaad is very, very important, and I would strongly recommend that there is a channel called GP Kafanda. Back when I was preparing for the CAT, 1996, GP was still training people for CAT. In 1996, he was still my teacher. Okay, over the years, the way in which he looks at maths, the way in which he comes up with jugaad is fascinating. He's got his channel, GP Kafanda. I think that you should go and subscribe. He has put up jugaad videos on various CAT papers. It's good. Another thing that I will also recommend is this weekend, I believe, we are having race to 99 percentile as a section. I think that we'll be taking one particular slot. I think CAT 2023 slot 2 is probably what we are discussing. We're going to use that particular paper to discuss the smart ways of solving. And in that, there is going to be a session on smart QA cracker taken by GP. And I will strongly urge you to attend it. You can also find a lot of videos on these sort of jugaad, the ways of solving this question. I'm believing that this is going to be absolutely crucial. So that's basically it. So now the next thing that you got to figure out is what resources that we're going to use. We need resources for this preparation. What resources to use? And I'm going to talk about 3 things. The number one is seek out the source which shines forever. Let's take especially VRC, DILR, and QA. In VRC, what is a fundamental struggle in VRC? The fundamental struggle in VRC is actually, I think I should put a different color for it. The fundamental struggle in VRC is attacking our question setter. This is how the question setter looks like in VRC. Setting all the traps for us to fall. And we are here fighting and worried and trying to avoid these traps that is set. This basically the VRC is all about the question setter's trap. Now, who is a question setter? The question setter is, I don't know exactly if the person is, but we have some idea of this question setter in one of the source. You know what the source is? Yes, PYQ, past year questions, or PYP, past year paper. If, for example, I have to deal with the trap set by the question setter, I need to understand the mind of the question setter. I should be learning from previous year's question. I'm not trying to solve previous year's question. I'm not saying solving. I'm to learn from the previous year's questions. Now, for example, if I look at what are the papers available, we've got from 2017 slot 1 slot 2, 2018 slot 1 slot 2, 2019 slot 1 slot 2, 2020 slot 1 slot 2 slot 3, 2021 slot 1 slot 2 slot 3, 2022 slot 1 slot 2 slot 3, 2023 slot 1 slot 2 slot 3. All put together, I believe that there are 78 RC passages. I could learn from them. Same, for example, DLR. Or I'm the same, the fellow is still the same. I mean, the question that is slightly different. Setting the traps here in terms of the complexities that exist within a particular set. We have 99 sets available. If I count from 2017 till 2023, 99 sets from which we can learn. Not 99 sets to solve the past year's paper, 99 sets from which we can learn. We have got QA. QA at least, I mean, QA, if you actually look at back from 1990s onwards till today, some 2003 paper that is available. Of course, you've got access to all these questions. If you are a career launch student, you can just go to my zone, the career launch page that you can get. Actually, all of this QA is more or less these past these questions that over the years there will be a lot of variations. But yeah, so it makes a lot of sense to actually solve. In fact, all these sets if you can, but at least the recent ones. One of the very, very important source in your journey has to be past year questions. And you have easy access to these questions. Just Google it. In fact, the solution to almost all these sets available free here itself in our YouTube. So many faculty members have solved it. So many of them. I've done a few, not all, for the VRC questions. You can have access to these ones. This has to be a partner in your journey. This is number one. Number two is this quote. I love this quote. It's a fantastic quote by Malcolm Gladwell. Practice isn't the thing you do once you're good. Practice is not a thing that you do once you're good. It is the thing you do that makes you good. I'm talking about mocks. It is a thing that you do that makes you good. A lot of us look at mocks and see the mock as a reflection of my capabilities. I'm looking at a mock score, I'm looking at this. No. You have to, in your mind, ingrain this. A mock is a preparation tool, and this is an awesome preparation tool for a lot of reasons. Let me tell you 3 reasons as to why mocks are awesome. And when I say in general, the reason why, number one, you might have certain books, right? So you study material in books, in physical book. When was the last time someone would have updated the book? The book has to go to reprinting and things like those. Anything on paper would have taken a year to update. I'm not saying they don't update, but it's probably most of the content would be something that would have been created a while ago. Many of the courses that you do, The content updation does happen. Let's say online course. At least I can say for VRC 1000 course of mine, I update every year. Okay, I recreate the video completely. Okay, just saying. But if you look at mocks, is by design created now. So some of the mocks that is happening, that's going to happen. People are still working on these mocks now. The content is being created now based on whatever we've seen in the previous year's CAT. Mocks are therefore content wise the most updated. That's number one. Number two, it is the simulation of the test. It is a simulation of the test. So in fact, at some point in time in your journey, you should do it like how I did back in 1996 when I took the CAT. That was long time ago. Okay, sometimes this is how you're at some point in time in your 111 days journey, and some point in time your preparation boils down to this activity. You know what? Boils down to, okay, you take the mock, you analyze your mock, and then you do some course correction based on the mock. When I say course correction, okay, let's say, okay, I am having problem with algebra, these kind of questions. As in logarithm, I'm fighting. I probably will have to revise. Some revisions happens based on the mocks, and then you take the next mock. You analyze that mock. You do revision. Then you take the next mock. You analyze the mock. You do revision. This is how your preparation is going to go at some point in time. In the last probably 50 days, this is all that you're going to do. And obviously some of the correction may even be, okay, I'm still having issue with respect to, I don't know, this let's say VRC, I'm getting stuck, I'm not able to push to my third RC, I'm having these issues. Maybe I'll have to do a few section tests and work towards it. Okay, so you would do all of this, but this is where your preparation is going to go. I mean, I'm completely fine. Even this is all you do in your preparation. This and this, previous year's CAT paper and mock test, and this is all you do. It's also fine, completely. And this is usually for people who maths is relatively fine. The maths is relatively okay, no. Maths is where we have got syllabus and stuff. If maths is relatively fine, I think that you should just do this. I mean, what is sort of chapters of verbal? What chapters? What is chapter 1 of reading comprehension? What is chapter 1 of DILR? Now, some of you have got certain issues with respect to building certain concepts. Will probably use an initial bit of days to build as many concepts as possible based on your plan that you bet on, and then come to this. And then whatever additional resources. Oh, there are lot of stuff out there. I mean, many stuff. If you're already, I think that's important to trust whatever you have. Do verify, but fundamentally trust the resources that you have. You're bought it. There has to be a reason as to why you've got access to those resources. Then you stick with it. Don't keep hoarding material from here and there. And if you have enrolled into some online or offline classroom course, you've got access to all the resources. You might have access to certain, you probably would have picked up few different courses from here and there, right? Maybe you would have picked up my course VRC 1000 for VRC as solution. Maybe DILR you picked up something else, for QA picked up something else, or for VRC you picked up some other course, or you would have done that, and then you've got a mock. Maybe you don't have any course, you're focusing on your mock test prep and all these things. You're looking for probably some videos from YouTube or some pirated versions of stuff, and whatever you do, right? Please understand this. It's important to focus on quality, not only in terms of prep, but in terms of the content as opposed to quantity. You have to be quality prep. Quality prep means the same thing. Everything that you do, whatever test, whether it is a short test, long test, 3-question test, 5-question test, 20-question test, whatever you do as a test, it has to be followed by analysis. It starts by redo the test before you look at the solution, redo the test without looking at the solution. then look at the solution, video solution, and then pick up the learning. And this redoing the question once again is absolutely crucial. You just don't do. You just don't do this particular part. So whatever resource that you have, please do it. That if you are someone who is who's kind of using free resources from here and there, I can offer you a solution. This is in fact open for everyone. This is absolutely free of cost. The CLS Career Launches Open CAT program. This if you are a career launches student, whichever course that you picked up in your My Zone, you can see this Open CAT program folder. You can click on that and then you can access. If not, you can use this QR code and then you get a link. Once you get inside it, you can click on this video, this thing that is shown here, how to use Open CAT platform. I've completely given you a rundown on what the course is about. Basically, see, for example, I have created a different version of VARC 1000 course over the years. I started in 2019, then 2020, 2021. The latest version is a new version of the course. Every version, the old versions are lying down. It's a retired content. Now there could be certain core lessons from the old versions. I thought that why not? I'll put it up free. Likewise, there is some. So basically, this has got retired content of CL still relevant for the CAT, but something that we are not using. We kept it. In fact, in this strategy toolkit, I talked about ratio 99%. We have taken this session ratio 99%. The year before, last year before that, we put up those videos here. You got access. It's free. It's free for all. You can check it out. And yeah, and I have sort of given. You can go there, watch this video to understand. Okay, just saying. The plan. So what is roughly your plan looks like? Plan is absolutely simple. Let's divide it into these 4 days. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's divide this. So here, so now you list down. I think create the sheet. Create the sheet in your. I like to have it like imagine like a board here. Actually, list down the plan, broad plans. So this is where the first 28, and then next 28 days, next 28, last 27 probably days. If you count this, I think that you can get your build all the necessary skills, basic skills or concepts. You can figure out sort of a 28 days. You can actually think of breaking this down like this in these two parts. And obviously, throughout this journey, there is one thing that is happening. Of course, you're using the CAT to CAT and your mocks as a constant preparation tool throughout the journey. And then here, specifically, you want to build the skill set. Now, it completely depends upon you in terms of whether you want to use the entire this period to build the skills for the areas of VRC, DILR, and QA. Whether you need this. For some of you will say that okay, my QA is fine. I really don't have to focus. I probably will have to build here for VRC, maybe for DLR, QA. I can start with a plan of just relying on test, analysis, course correction, repeat. Test, analysis, course correction, repeat. I could rely on that. Whatever the broad plan is, so roughly think about sort of building certain basic concepts in place. So, for example, if you want to build the VRC concepts, so sort of in terms of how to read a particular passage, what are the various kind of options, going through different type of passages, a different level of difficulty, and trying to see how we can navigate them, or fixing a process in terms of how to deal with the VA questions. And DLR, this is about, okay, I need to understand the process on solving every single type of DLR sets. And so do that, and then this is our test, analysis, course correction. Test, analysis, course correction till the end of it. It's so simple. Now, if you want to think about, bring it down to weekly task, right? In that there are certain activities that you can do anytime. What are the things that you can do anytime? For example, reading articles. You can read articles anytime. Let's say watching YouTube videos like these. Watching Jijo Speaks, for example. This you can do any time. I mean, you don't have to sit and do. I think this could be any time means maybe when you're sitting and having your lunch, or maybe you're just sitting and chilling. I don't know. I could be my channel could be a Jijo Speaks, could be a channel where it's like your relaxed channel. Who knows? Watching this could be reading articles. You could read anytime. But there are certain things that you sit and do, must sit and do. This is like actually taking a mock or preparing something. So differentiate between these two activities, right? Don't build this into your sort of task. Is something that you build in your activity, your daily. It's like brushing your teeth or taking bath. If you're someone who takes bath every single day, then you know what I'm talking. This has to be a part and parcel sort of your life. This means that you probably will have to cut down other activities and then fill these things, and activities sit and go. So you then what you do is that you create. So let's say this is 7 days. You create tasks. You know, one of the reasons as to why you are every time you create a schedule and schedule never works. It's like most of the time when you create a schedule, it's like schedule is looking at it and going, no, you do it once, second day, third day, you don't even feel like looking at the schedule. You don't even feel like, because when you look at the schedule, it feels like I am a failure. The schedule, it keeps reminding you you're a failure. You know why? Because the way in which we are creating the schedule, you know what we should do when you create a schedule? First, add all the things that you know you will do, all the time pass. I will be wasting time here between 6 to 8 p.m. Complete waste of time. I want to go to gym, come what may. First, you list down all the things that you will do for sure, all the activities. Then fill the rest of the time with all the other things. Or don't make it a time bound sort of things. You make tasks. You figure out I need to do tasks, weekly tasks. What is the task that I want to do in a week basis? So there is, for example, something that I'm going to let's say learn from cat. This is a task that I'm going to do, right? For each of this area, I'll probably pick up. You could probably pick up. You could probably say that okay, this week this is 2023 slot 1 week. Okay, this is what I'm going to do this week. For DILR, I'm going to learn maths. I will going to do, and there is a mock and analysis is another task that I have to do. Then I have to have a specific task for VARC, DILR, and QA. You would then say, okay, QA, this particular week, I'm going to focus on a revision of algebra. DILR, I'm going to do set theory is a set that I want to do, plus I want to do some of these number based ones. VRC, I just want to focus bit on paragraph jumble this week, plus RC and RC I'll do the RC general practice I want to do. List this like this on a weekly task, and then you figure out where you can put it. If you're someone who is working, and I'm sure that maybe this is your Saturday, let's say this is Sunday, this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You decide that on a weekdays maximum I could do a couple of tasks, maybe one in the morning, one in the evening. So 2 tasks. So out of these 3 things, 3, 4, 5, which is VRC, DILR, and QA, I'll probably just work on my task number 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's say let's do like this, something like this. Okay, task 3, task 4, task 5, task 3, task 4, task 5, task 3, task 4. Let's say buffer, task 5 and some buffer. I could do like this. Or I say, okay, this is my Saturday, I'm going to free, learn from CAT, I'm going to look at CAT 2023 slot 1, 2, 3, maybe I'll take a section test in this particular thing. Sunday, I'm going to do, let's say mock plus analysis. And within the task, you can probably, for example, if you are taking, let's say VRC 1000 course, so okay, these are the days in which I'm going to just follow the course. I'm just going to do that course for my VRC preparation. Whatever, this is sort of a task that you want, and obviously you have to tweak it, right? You have to tweak it depending upon what is that you broadly want to achieve. Convert a task every single day. Wake up in the morning and list down tasks. These are the 3 things I got to do. List it down, cut it out, make it task based. So there is this. So you, let's say you list down this task. This is amazing. Okay, I'm telling you the power of this. You list down, write these 4 tasks that you want to do. Mock analysis, whatever, and once something is done, cross it out. Oh, that's power. That feeling of crossing it out is amazing. You might have still some tasks left, but you make it very, very task-based approach. And if you are someone who has got all full-time prep, the big problem with full-time prep, you do a lot of unnecessary things. You could probably say that, okay, every single day there are going to be 3 tasks I'm going to do. Okay, if you're doing full-time, there's no difference between Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. So we have a mock day, we have a learn from CAT day, day 2, and then in this case I'll probably decide, so this is my VRC here, DLR here, QA there, maybe one is a buffer day, whatever happens, and then you sort of have a basically make it into very clean, simple plan of action, and based on 2 fundamental resources, that is that building your journey, that is again your CAT and the mock. Actual CAT and mock is guiding you. Let that be your guide through the journey. Don't think of this as a reflection of it. I think let's go back to that quote again, where I said this one: practice isn't the thing you do once you're good, it's a thing that makes you good. Now have that attitude, and when that's it, and let's fight. Let's fight. Goodbye.